everybody. I'm Jonathan Randall, and this is How You Like Me Now. I hope everybody's doing well and having a great week. It's been hard being back in New York City. I gotta be honest, I'm missing adventure. I'm missing traveling. I'm missing just, taking it a day at a time and not constantly obsessing over my career and my life here in New York City. That was something so special about traveling, where you're experiencing all these incredible new things and you're seeing things that you never saw for the first time. And what you're thinking about is like what you're gonna do that day, what you're gonna do tomorrow. I feel like it makes you very present. It makes you in the moment. And being back in New York, all I can think about is, oh, my comedy career is not where I want it to be. My podcasts aren't doing as well as I want them to be. Things I care about. Am I really making a difference? Am I making a positive change when it comes to, Palestine and Israel? I don't know. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but I am. I've become more than when I first made the first video I ever made about it. It's become even more important to me, more special, and maybe that's something to do with the craziness that's happening in Israel and what's going on right now, where the country is imploding almost. But I'm going to talk plenty about Israel in a little bit. I wanted to talk about dating. Of course, I am out here looking for that special someone. I've been dating, a lot the last couple years since my last significant relationship. I've had some that were special since then, but not like some of the big ones that I had. But I would like to meet, a partner, my love of my life, whatever. I hope I haven't already experienced love of my life. Sometimes I'm terrified that I'll never love again the way I loved, my ex-girlfriend, but I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm out there, I'm dating. I'm still on the apps, even though I don't know why I'm still on them. They haven't done anything for me ever. In fact, I think maybe one girl that I really liked, maybe two girls that I've really liked, I've met on the apps, but usually it doesn't go anywhere. And I guess the apps have made, everybody so disposable. We live in a disposable kind of society where if something's broken, we just throw it away and we want to get a new one. And the apps kind of made it like that. Like, oh, there's always something new. There's something better. I saw, a quote, I guess, from, somebody said, back in my day, if something was broke, we fixed it. We didn't just throw it away and get something new. And I think there's something awesome and special about that. I think there's something really cool about, fixing something that goes wrong and having a history and getting past bad times instead of just thinking life and relationships are only going to be, awesome and happy all the time, which they aren't. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. Of course, I am searching for it in my life, but the older I get and the more life I live, I do believe that happiness is something that you choose. Not so much as something that happens to you. So I am dating. I matched with some girl who did seem promising this last weekend. She was quirky, had a lot of personality. She seemed like she had a great sense of humor, and she was also pretty cute. And we were talking, and I kind of just liked, the way she was messaging, and she was making effort and showing interest. A lot of times people want to, play coy right in the beginning, but this girl wasn't. I was into it, and I asked her out, and she said yes. And I threw out a place to meet me, and I guess she did not like that. She started insulting the bar, which I love, by the way, the bar that I suggested. I think it's one of the best dive bars in the city. I stand by it. I was trying not to be too offended on behalf of the bar because she was like, oh, well, did you think I am 27 or something? I'm like, what does that even mean? And no, I was just wishing you were 27. Just a joke. So then I said, okay. I asked her where she lived. She told me the area. I found another bar right near her that looked cool. I'm like, I'll tell you what, meet me at this bar. And then she's like, oh no, I go to that bar all the time. I can't go there with a date. And I was like, 2 bars that I suggest that you're saying no to? I'm like, forget this. These are red flags for me. So I didn't go out with the girl. I actually feel bad because I was like, let me call you tomorrow and we'll figure it out. And then I never did. And I should have at least texted her and been like, I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, I hinted to it after she denied my 2 suggestions. I was like, red flag city. And she was like, run. And I'm like, if the girl is telling you herself to run, then maybe you should believe her. So I did not end up going out with that girl. But it's so frustrating, women have this thing where like they want the men to like plan the date and pick the place and make the plan and be assertive about it all. And then to be like, oh, no, but I don't like that place. Oh, no, I don't like that place. It's like, oh, no, I'm not going to like you. The Oscars. I did not watch the Oscars. I really don't care, I guess, anymore about the Oscars. I guess maybe at some point I did. I think it had a lot to do with the hosts. No offense to Jimmy Kimmel. I'm actually liking Jimmy Kimmel more and more these days, but I had no interest in watching the Oscars. But I did catch some clips after of like some speeches, especially the speech Key gave. He won Best Supporting Actor in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And of course, he was a child star. He thought his career was over. He wasn't getting cast or booked in any roles anymore. And now he's making this huge comeback. Everything Everywhere All at Once, great movie. I loved it. His performance is awesome. But I have never believed that we were living in a simulation until like I watched his like acceptance speech, and I was like, maybe we are living in a simulation, because it was just like such that bullshit that follow your dreams. All you have to do is follow your dreams, and you could do it. Feel good for everybody, man. I was down and out, but I still followed my dreams. And my wife told me keep going every day, and I did. And now I won an Oscar, and you can too if you just follow your dreams. Of course, it doesn't hurt if you were in two of the most iconic movies ever, Indiana Jones and Goonies. But anyways, I'm glad he won. I am a fan of his, but I don't know, something about watching his speech and talk about dreams just made me think this is a freaking simulation. And then Brendan Fraser won Best Actor, and I'm like, this is what everybody wants. Like, these are like the feel-good wins that people want. Like, what was it, like last year the Academy was like, everybody is still upset about that slap, where it took like one of the most beloved people, one of the most beloved actors, one of the most beloved personalities in the world, Will Smith, and he slapped Chris Rock, and now like he's done. Like, everybody doesn't like this guy. I don't like him. I used to love the guy. Now I'm like, I do not care for him. I think that was horrible what he did. And everybody was so upset about that. They're like, we got to make everybody feel good this year. We're going to give them to Brendan making the comeback. We're going to give it to Key making a comeback. It's the year of the comeback. The Oscars are making a comeback. I don't know. It's just like, it's too like, this is like, it's too believable. It's unbelievable how believable it is. Like, that's what people want. They wanted Brendan to win. They wanted Key to win, and they both won. And I just feel like it's just trying to like make the population happy. I don't know. Maybe we are in a simulation. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows? Probably a little bit of both. I never thought we were in a simulation. I never believed that. It's so crazy. But like, things happen, it's just like, it just seems like that was written. It just seems like it's too like perfect for what people want, for like to be the reality of what happened. But I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about Israel, because apparently I'm obsessed. People want to tell me I'm an anti-Semite. They want to tell me I'm a self-hating Jew. They want to tell me I'm just a horrible person. All believe because I care about Palestinian human rights, which is very bizarre. On Saturday in Israel, they had perhaps the largest protest ever in Israel, where 500,000 people took to the streets to protest the new government and the judicial reforms that they plan to do. I'm glad people are speaking out. I'm glad that there's kind of a magnifying glass right now in Israel, and there's more awareness, because what Israel's doing is horrible, and I feel like it's doing a lot of horrible things. I feel like Israel's like getting ready to implode. It became this thing, in 1948. It was more important than ever for the Jews to have a state. It was supposed to be some safe haven for the Jewish people. But I feel like now it's becoming anything but a safe haven for the Jewish people. It's maybe a safe haven if you're an ultra-Orthodox person, but if you have liberal beliefs, if you're not like Orthodox, and like, it's not really good for you. If you disagree with the government, with the occupation, what's happening in Palestine, more people are becoming aware, more people are seeing videos, more people are getting to understand the truth and not just the bullshit that Israel's been feeding. It's like really bad for Israel. And the fact that Netanyahu and this new government don't see that, and they are still pushing forward with these judicial reforms. Even today, they're trying to do stuff so like Netanyahu won't get kicked out of being prime minister because of his corruption trial or whatever other bullshit he has going on. And they're trying to change the laws to serve them, to serve the people in the Knesset and serve their ideas and their beliefs. And they don't care about the whole Jewish people. They kind of, right now, it seems, only care about this extremist view of Judaism. terrorism. Anyways, it was the 10th week in a row that Israelis took to the street to protest, the biggest one ever. I hope they keep protesting. We need these kind of protests against the occupation. We need these kind of protests against, the fundamental human rights violations of the Palestinian people, and I hope we do. And of course, now we got these idiots like Bezalel, I don't even know if I say his name right. Bezalel Smotrich. This guy's a freaking idiot. He came to the U.S. They were going to deny his visa. I wish they did, but they didn't. And he gave a speech for Israeli bonds, which I don't know why anyone would buy the bonds when this hate monger is talking about it. And of course, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who's horrible, who for some reason they put in charge of defense in Israel and the police forces. And this is what actually a former police chief had to say about Ben-Gvir and his control, how it's so dangerous that he has control over the police force. He said that Ben-Gvir is a convicted felon enacting a hostile takeover of the police and trying to turn it into a private militia to serve his political purpose. Absolutely. That's what the whole new right-wing Israeli government is trying to do. And it's crazy that we put this hate monger, this guy whose previous convictions for racist remarks and supporting terrorism, in charge of the Israeli police force when they're already abusing their rights, especially when it comes to Palestinians. Now we have this hate monger in charge. It's horrible. They're trying to change the judiciary system, which isn't going to be good. Part of the reason they want to do that is so they could build more illegal settlements. They could rule out, so the high court won't be able to protect Palestinian rights. And it won't be able to step up when it comes to illegal annexations. They want to have all the power. They want to be able to do that. They want to wipe Palestinians off the face of the earth, which is crazy, especially when it comes to Jewish history. So I have a bunch of notes. I know I was trying to do this more without notes, but it's hard to remember everything. I still have a lot to learn. I'm horrible with names. I want to get facts right. So that's why I use some notes. So I want to talk about this guy, Bezalel Smotrich, that he's the minister of finance in Israel. He made these horrible remarks after the pogrom in Huara that it should be wiped off the face of the earth. Now he's backtracking and saying, oh, that's not what he meant, and he spoke out. But this guy is a super piece of shit, and it's not only because he's a supporter of expanding Israeli settlements in the West Bank, and of course he opposes Palestinian statehood. Those are two reasons why he's a piece of shit. But also he's very anti-LGBTQ. He says he's a proud homophobe. He orchestrated a parade with a bunch of animals that was supposed to, parody the Tel Aviv Gay Pride Parade because he compares homosexuality to bestiality. I know, what a scumbag. And then even worse, he said that the media was trying to control the narrative and make him look bad and silence him because he has conservative views and they're so liberal. So he spreads hate and then he blames the media for not wanting to showcase his hate. This guy's a real son of a bitch. He's tweeted his segregation of, Arabs and Israelis. He once said that he doesn't think Arab mothers giving birth should be near Israeli mothers giving birth because his quote was, "It's natural that my wife would not want to lay down next to someone who just gave birth to a baby that might want to murder her baby in 20 years. Yeah, well, only because of the actions that this guy commits do they want to perpetrate that kind of violence. But what a shitty thing to say about a baby that's not even born. But he judges Palestinians just because of who they are as they're going to be murderers right away. That's the type of scumbag this guy is. He's also not willing to recognize reform conversions. He's made remarks about how they just have a fake religion. Not only does he live in a settlement, a lot of these settlements are deemed illegal in the West Bank, but he built his house outside of the area of the settlement. It's double illegal, his house. He wouldn't even build his house in the illegal settlement. He built his house outside the illegal settlement because he thinks he's claiming land for the Jews, when what he's doing is making Jews everywhere look bad, because I feel like this guy is a horrible example of the Jewish people, and he is front row center right now. He's coming to America. I'm so glad there were so many people protesting him. and I think more should. And apparently next he went to France or something, and I hope people protest him there. He's a total piece of shit. I can't believe he's part of the Israeli government. I hope they get rid of him. I hope they kick him out. I hope he doesn't get more power, which he definitely wants to get to. But Netanyahu, Bezalel Smotrich, and Itamar Ben-Gvir, they're like the three stooges right now of Israel. And it's gross, and it's horrible. And then this guy's trying to change his tunes. He gave this speech in Washington, D.C., and he said, despite all the differences, despite the many colors that make up the Jewish mosaic, we are one. We have common goals of tikkun olam, which is like repairing the world. And each of us seeks to fulfill that goal from a different angle. How are you fulfilling the goal of tikkun olam, to repair the world, to make the world a better place, with your anti-Arab remarks, your anti-gay remarks, with just your anti-remarks of people that aren't the level of religious that you are? This guy is a hypocrite, and he's full of shit, and he's absolutely gross. Unfortunately, the only thing you could believe that comes out of his mouth is hate. And that is a sad state of affairs, that he is a representative of the Israeli people right now. It's a scary time for Israel right now. Besides the horrible occupation that's, for the world to see, this new government is absolutely trashed. They got to get rid of Netanyahu. They got to get rid of Ben-Gvir. And they got to get rid of Bezalel, or whatever the hell his name is. Like, I'm trying to learn his name to say it right, but part of me is like, I don't even want to say his name right, because he doesn't deserve it, because he doesn't deserve my respect, because he sucks. But anyways, I'm still doing this podcast. I've been wondering if maybe I should stop. I don't know if people are listening. I don't know if people care. I don't know if I get too personal with it. But I do care about my creative endeavors. I care about expressing myself. I care about the plight of the Palestinian people. And I care about you. So thank you for the support that you give me. If you do, if you don't, then maybe you should. You could check me out across social media at Jonathan Randall. If you're not subscribing to me on YouTube, please do. I appreciate all the comments that people give. If you have any suggestions for me for the podcast, please email me. Thanks for listening. I'm Jonathan Randall. How you like me now?